Hey, what's up guys? My name is Ari'el if you are new here. And in today's video, we're going over my top 15 life upgrades for your mid-30s. If that sounds like something you're interested in, just keep on watching.
At 44 minutes till 4, an angel walked up to my door, opened the window to my soul, told me he think that I should know there's no slowing down. As the globe spins around and round, you gotta keep going, 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 gotta keep going. If there's one thing that I learned while in those county lines, it's that everything takes time. You have gotta lose your pride, you have gotta lose your mind, just to find your peace of mind. You have gotta trust the signs, everything will turn out fine. So why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you smiling? Life can get wild when you're caught in a whirlwind, lost in the whirlwind, you're chasing the wind. You gotta understand, there's really no end, there's really no beginning, there's really no real, there's really no pretending, there's really no fail, there's really no winning, 'cause nothing really is and everything really isn't. You gotta keep going.
First off, let's get into this hair. Do y'all see this? I feel so glamorous and so pretty and just like a woman with this hair. This is Outre and it's the Swoop series. If you guys have not seen my last vlog, please go back to watch it. I did a detailed install with the hair as well as a review for the Swoop series. So I am loving it, loving it, loving it. Also, before we get into this video, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the sound and the lighting in this video. So it's like about to storm or something outside. It's raining, so the sun comes out and then it gets really dark and gray. So my lighting is probably going to be all over the place, plus the sound of the rain, plus I have my AC on because it's really hot in my apartment right now. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and apologize in advance. And hopefully that won't be too much of a distraction because today's video is really good. It is from the heart and it's so many things that I've learned and I'm ready to share with you guys. To be honest, I have put this video off for a while. I've definitely put it off for a while, but I feel like right now is the perfect time. Also, before we get completely started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys are into lifestyle vlogs, if you're into wellness, if you're into home decor and all things like that. Definitely subscribe to my channel below. Now, I'm gonna get comfortable because you guys, when I tell you, I have a lot in store for you. I have a lot in store for you, a lot of gems that I'm going to be dropping. I have my notebook here and it has all my juicy notes in it and everything prepared for what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes for our top 15 life upgrades for mid-30s. So be sure to grab your tea, grab your coffee, whatever it is that you want to drink, water. I got my water right here because it's going to be a good one. And definitely grab your notepad so you can take notes and jot some things down. Also, I think this video is going to be really good, like if you're cleaning up, if you're doing things around the house and you just want to put it on and just listen to everything that I have to say. I think it's a good video to be able to do that as well. So first things first, that little clip at the very beginning of the video, y'all, it was so hard trying to cram 5 years, literally 5 years worth of footage into a little minute, 30 seconds to 60 seconds or however long it was clip to show you guys, but I did it. I was able to pick out just some really cute moments for me, also some really kind of cringe-worthy moments as well, and put it all into that clip that you guys just saw at the very beginning of the video. And I just feel like it's just so fitting. It's so fitting, and let me tell you why. So by the time you guys are watching this video, I will be 35 in about a week and a half, I believe, if I looked at the calculations correctly. If I looked at the calendar correctly, I will be 35 in about a week and a half, or maybe less than a week and a half from the time that I put this video out, which is this Sunday coming up. you guys, turning 35 for me, I mentioned this in another video before, but turning 35 for me is just, it's like no other, because 35 symbolizes a lot of things for me personally, because a lot happened when I turned 30. So it's been 5 years since all of those things, and it's just different. It's a different feeling. I feel like I've grown so much, like so much, in so many different areas, emotionally, physically. Like I've grown so much, and I've learned a lot of things along the way, and I've taken in a lot of things along the way from different people and different experiences and stuff, which is the reason why I wanted to put out this video and put together this video for you guys, because of all the knowledge and everything that I've learned. I'm like, I can't just gatekeep all of this stuff. I want to be able to share it. I'm not a big birthday person. I don't really celebrate my own birthday like that. I've never been that way. But when it comes to this one, because it symbolizes so much, I just thought, what better way to get something together, and this is my gift really to the world. So just as a really quick background story about me, when I turned 30, again, so many things happened, like so much. I'm going to give you a very short, condensed version of all the feelings and emotions and everything that I was going through. So the very first thing that happened when I turned 30 was that I lost a lot of weight. I lost almost 100 pounds. I was very overweight, very obese, unhealthy in so many different ways, not even just physically, but just unhealthy in general with my mental and everything else. And anyone who has ever gone through a weight issue, whether it be overweight or even underweight and maybe can't gain weight, but anybody who has dealt with weight issues knows how much of a mental burden that can be, especially if your weight is going up and down, or you find yourself always trying to lose weight or always trying to gain weight. It seems like your world is just centered around that. And so that was a major experience that I went through. It was very happy and it was an exciting time because I was losing the weight. And I'll get into another video later, which I really want to do this as well. It's coming in the future, but I am going to get into another video as far as what I did to lose weight, what I'm still doing to lose weight currently right now, because I feel like weight is just going to always be a part of my life. Weight and appearance and everything else, it's just going to always be there. I've come to terms with that. And I'm okay. I'm okay. But back then, it was way different, and I've come a long way. I'm sorry, guys, if you hear the sirens. It's just so much happening right now. It's sirens, it's rain, it's a lot going on outside, so I apologize in advance. So anyway, yeah, so going back to that, losing a lot of weight, it's just a mental struggle that I was going through at that time. And although I was losing it, it was still a lot that I was dealing with mentally when it came to my weight, and making sure that I was eating right and making sure I was doing everything that I needed to do in order to lose the large amount of weight that I needed to lose. So I was going through that. And then shortly after that, well, I was still kind of going through it at the same time, but I got a divorce. A lot of you know that I was married for a long time. I was married for 9 years, and I call it a surprise divorce because it wasn't really planned, which I don't really know what divorce is actually planned, but this one was very unplanned. It was an unplanned divorce, and it hit me kind of like out of nowhere, literally. And that was a very deep mental situation to have to go through as well, because anybody who has gone through a divorce knows it's literally all the emotions wrapped into one lifetime that you're in. It's you literally go through every single emotion I think that there is when you go through a divorce. It is very draining, very draining, very challenging. And I feel like even more so when it's unexpected, and you kind of have to get everything together. I felt like I was going through a death almost. That's exactly what people used to ask me what it felt like, or you know, how I was doing or whatever. And the only thing that I could really liken it to was grief of somebody dying that was close to me. So going through that mentally, so that was a challenge, on top of the weight and on top of that whole thing. And then several months later, after the divorce was finalized, I got pregnant. And of course, as women, and if you go through a pregnancy, you know how special of a time that can be, feeling the baby kick and all of that. And just the thought of being a mother is just like, oh my gosh, you know, you get all excited. And even with that too, all the emotions running rampant. Like, you go through so many, especially because your hormones are all over the place and everything. So that was a thing. I unfortunately did not have a supportive partner in that situation at all. It was very hard. It was a struggle. And I did the entire pregnancy alone, which was hard. It was very, very hard. Aside from my family or my friends and all that, you know, it was just a hard situation because I didn't have the partner. So with that, I obviously do not have kids now. So I did end up losing the baby. I was about 5 months pregnant, about 4.5 going on 5 months pregnant, and I ended up having a stillborn. So that was another traumatic experience that happened. I can go on and on when it comes to like emotions and having trauma and just like dealing with things and going through things, as anybody has. Everybody goes through things. You know, mine just happened to be all at once. It happened to be something. It was funny because one of my family members was like, I bet you're never gonna forget your 30th birthday. And I'm like, girl, never, ever, ever. I will never forget my 30th birthday. Because even that, it was so big, it was such a milestone, but then everything came literally crashing down. Like, it was just so, like, emotionally, it was emotionally draining when I turned 30. Like, it was just so much between the weight loss, losing that amount of weight, and that kind of messing with your mental, and then going through a dramatic divorce, and then getting pregnant and not being supported, and then having a stillbirth, like, and dealing with the emotions with that in itself, and having a baby and feeling the heartbeat and being able to see them and, you know, looking at them and looking on the ultrasound and everything, and then just to lose it. It was very dramatic. It was very, very traumatic, I should say. But I say all of those things to say that now that I am turning 35, I'm coming up on my 5th year of dealing with all my stress and all my trauma and learning and coping with different ways. And then not even only those things, those major things that happen, but just the day-to-day life when it comes to your career and when it comes to other things, like just dealing with stuff. I wanted to put together something that I know would help other people. And it was hard, like I was telling you guys in the clips before, it was very hard to cram in 5 years of footage and 5 years of knowledge and growth into 15 tips for you guys, because it could really be so much more. But I really did pick out like my top 15 things that I learned over the last 5 years, now that I'm coming up on the 5th year of having to deal with all of my stuff and having to grow and, you know, just doing this thing on my own. And just, I'm a totally different person than I was when I was 30. I'm a totally different person, really, to be honest with y'all, from last year. I really am. I'm just different, and that's growth. And I feel like if you're not growing, then what are you doing? You're kind of dead. If you're not growing, you're not alive. So let's go ahead. Enough with that. Enough with my backstory. Enough with the background stuff. Let's go ahead and get into my top life upgrades, everything that I have learned in my last 5 years, and I'm sharing with you guys. Okay, so in no specific order, I'm just gonna go down my list of all 15 things. Number 1 is intentional joy or intentional joy practices. And what I mean by this is, really, to be honest with you guys, everything needs to be intentional. Everything that you do, and from what I've learned, needs to be intentional. Going whichever way the wind blows, like, that's cute to a certain extent. You know, you can be free and all of that, but at the same time, you want to be really intentional with your life. You want to get serious. And when it comes to joy practices, this has been something that has really like elevated my lifestyle, to be honest with you guys. And what this means is that you find joy in something and you make it a priority to be able to do that in your life. So if you like to water plants, if you like to go for walks, if you like to go sit in the park, if you like cars or motorcycles or whatever it is that you might like, Be intentional about it. Figure out the things that you do like, the things that you don't like, and make sure that you schedule those things into your week or into your month, however many times you want to do it. Maybe it's just a bath. Maybe you just love baths instead over showers, and you want to create like a spa-like experience when it comes to taking baths every day. I don't know, but whatever it is that brings you joy, that sparks joy, make sure you do that, and make sure you are intentional with that practice, because you will definitely see how much your life will upgrade based off of those things that you are intentionally putting into your schedule. Number 2 is to get clear about your goals and the things that you want to do, and make sure that everything is in alignment with that goal. So your goals can be anything. Your goals can be starting a family. Your goals can be elevating your career or doing something different in your career, or switching your entire career. It could be whatever it is that you want to do. Get clear about those goals. If it is losing weight like how I am, or just like wellness, just being overall healthier, whatever those goals are, make sure you're clear on those goals, and then everything else has to be in alignment with that goal, which means you're going to start saying no to a lot of things, which we'll get into, because that's also one of my tips as well, just saying no to things. But that's what it's going to look like, because if things aren't specifically in alignment with the goal and with the person that you're trying to be and who you want to become, or if you want to better yourself, which we should all be wanting to do better in the world in general, have better friendships, better relationships, we want to do better. In order to do that, we need to get clear about who we are, what we want to become, and work towards that. And anything that interferes with that, or anything that gets in the way of that, we want to make sure that we're turning those things down. Anything that is not in alignment with what you are trying to do and where you're trying to go in this new season of your life, turn down. That can be a lot easier said than done. Trust me, that is a lot easier said than done. But once you get in the habit of starting to make sure that the things that you are choosing for yourself is in alignment with your goals and who you want to be and who you want to become, top life upgrade. Number 3, it is okay to be alone. I'm gonna say that again. It is okay to be alone. It's okay to be alone. There is a difference between loneliness and choosing to be alone and having your alone time. There are so many things that you can learn about yourself when you're alone. There's so many things that you can work towards when you're alone. If you're in a relationship or marriage or something like that, it's so important to have alone time, to really get your alone time in, to make sure you are doing your own self-care practices. You're reading, you're taking your bubble baths, you're journaling, you're doing whatever it is that you want to do in your alone time. And realize that that is okay. If you're not with anybody, if you're not in a relationship, take this time to develop into a better version of yourself. That's what it's for. That's what this time is for. There's no one else around you. Nobody is coming to save you. Literally, you have you, yourself, and whatever practices that you got going on for that time frame. It's so important to know that it is okay. You don't always have to be around somebody. You don't always have to be in a relationship. Be in a relationship with yourself before you start giving to other people. Learn how to be alone for yourself. If you don't know how to be, if you're a person where you're like, you find yourself always in a chain relationship or going back to back to back, you break up with somebody and then you're immediately with somebody else right after that. You have to, in order to get over someone, you have to jump into a relationship to get over that last person. If you realize that that is you, that might be a problem. Just saying, that might be a problem. Learn how to be content and how to be okay with your aloneness. When I tell you guys, once you learn this and once you practice this and once you get it down pat, you will realize, wow, Like, wow, I'm not saying you'll never be in another situation or another relationship again. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying learn how to be content just for a little while. Just for a little while. Don't run and jump into another relationship. Take that time to become a better version of yourself before you go and get into another one, and learn that it is okay to be by yourself for a little while. Sometimes that little while may look like a month. Other times it may look like a few years. We don't know. We don't know what's in store for us. But what I will say is that once you become content with being on your own and being okay with not being in a relationship at that time or in that season of your life, you will learn a lot about yourself that you don't know. You'll also learn a lot about yourself when you're in a relationship, because it's like a mirror. Whatever that person, when you're dating somebody or if you're in a marriage or something, that it's like a mirror and you reflect off of them. So you learn a lot in a relationship too, but you really learn a lot when you're by yourself. It would not be me if I didn't throw this next tip in there. Elevate your space. Elevate your space. This is an exciting one. I wanted to put this in there because as I was healing over the last 5 years, don't get me wrong, I'm not done healing. None of us are done healing. It's an everyday practice. But so going along with being alone, you really start to learn the things that you really like to do and the things that you really love to do. And for me, it was home stuff. Like, I just really liked putting together my apartment. I was on my own for the first time in so many years. Like, I literally had to start all the way over, and my space was empty at one point. It was like bland. I didn't have much, and I slowly started putting things in, and then I realized that it wasn't a burden for me. It was more like something that I really, really enjoy doing. I like to put together textures and colors. I like to decorate with plants and then paint in my walls and learn what colors I like and all of that. I'm saying elevate your space. Elevate your space, and this is a major life upgrade. Also, I don't want this to get confused as well. Maybe decorating is not your thing. You don't like home decor. You're really just a simple type of person. You just, as long as you have a bed to sleep on, a couch to sit on, like, you're good, and there's nothing wrong with that as well. Elevating your space can also look like organizing. Elevating your space can also look like cleaning, making sure that your space is clean. Elevating your space can also look like decluttering, making sure you're getting rid of things that no longer serve you. So if decorating is not necessarily your thing, just make sure you declutter your space, you clean your space, you organize your space, because a lot of times you don't really realize how much your living space affects how you are on the outside. You don't really realize when you walk outside the stress and stuff of the world and your jobs and the people that you deal with and all of that. Coming home to a clean, organized, well-decorated space, living space, makes a huge difference. I have always found that whenever my space was cluttery, if it was messy, if it wasn't clean, if it didn't look like how I wanted it to look, like, by the time I got home, I was just like, I don't really even want to be here either. It just didn't make me physically feel good. Like, I just didn't. So I just find that making sure that your space is put together how you like it, maybe not to the same standards as everyone else, but as long as you're putting everything together in the way that you like it, it makes such a huge difference on your mental space, how you feel emotionally, physically. You're not stressed out, you're not like all bogged out. It really, really is a life upgrade when you elevate your space. Number 5, it is okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. This was a hard one that I had to learn over the last few years. Sometimes we feel like we have to have it all together all the time. With anybody that is around us, we have to be put together. I think especially if you appear to be, or if you are, one or the other, a strong individual. It's almost like you're the strong friend, right? And the strong friend, they cry. The strong friend has emotions. The strong friend, you're the person, you might be the... It's a train going off right now. It's a train. A train. The strong friend looks like nothing ever bothers them. They look like they always have the advice for everyone else. They look like they always have everything together. But that is just simply not the case. We're human and we're not perfect, and it is okay to not be okay. It is okay to need a shoulder to lean on. It's okay to need somebody to talk to. It's okay to go through your feels. Feel how you want to feel. Take the time that you need. If you're grieving or whatever, take the necessary time that you need. And it is okay to admit that I'm not okay. Like, I'm going through things right now. I need a moment, or I'm going through things. I need someone to talk to. Let someone know. It's really important to let people know and not to hold things in. Again, I have struggled with this in the past. I hold a lot of things in and I deal with things alone. I just find that it's just better for me. Like, that's just how I deal with stuff. And then I come out and I talk about it like this. Once I've gone through it, I come out and I talk about it because I've learned through it. But there also has been times where I really needed to talk to somebody. Like, I really have, and I just haven't. And that's just not a good thing to be able to hold it all in. It came out eventually, but it's just not, it didn't benefit me very much. So just realizing and noticing that you're not okay and that you may need somebody to talk to, or you may need help or assistance on how to deal with a specific subject, it's okay to be able to admit that. Number 6, know when it's time to move on. This can be the job, the relationship, the friendship, whatever it is. Know when it's time to move on. Stop staying in a situation that is not serving you, okay? It ain't gonna do nothing but stunt your growth. You're not gonna grow. And now, granted, it is a very fine line. It's a very, very fine line between thinking that you're supposed to be going through a certain season of your life, thinking that, and then not moving on because you're thinking that you're supposed to be going through this, and moving on when it's time. It's a very fine line for that. For me, what may help you guys, I don't know, because I found myself in that situation and I'm like, maybe I should be, this is something that, I'm trying to work out. Maybe I'm going through this for a reason. And then things are just not working out. So it's like, when do I leave? When do I stay? When do I start looking for another job? When do I get out of this situation? Like, I've been there before. And to me, I feel like, again, going back to the things that are in alignment with who you are and what you want to be, going back to my second point, if those things aren't aligning with who you are and what you want to be, it might be time. It might be time. When it comes to a job, of course, act smart. You don't want to just up and quit, and maybe you do. Maybe some of you guys have it like that, and where you could just literally up and quit. It's not unheard of for people to follow their dreams and just quit their jobs and go on and pursue their passions. That's not unheard of. I wouldn't do that necessarily personally. I would think things through just a little bit, but if it's not in alignment, if it's not where you want to be, and if you can see things going in the opposite direction and it really just is not working out, maybe you've tried over and over and over again, and you've tried several different ways, and you put yourself in several different scenarios, and maybe this situation just is not working out for you, it may be time to redirect in a different direction. Know when it's time to leave. If it's a friendship and you have set your boundaries, and maybe that person just continues to cross your boundaries, they continue to do it. Maybe you've talked to them, maybe you've had conversation after conversation and things just aren't adding up, or maybe a certain thing just continues to happen in your friendship and you're like, okay, maybe that person knows how you are, so it's like, this bothers me when you're doing something like this, and and they continue to push, or a family member that just continues to push, and you've tried. You owe it to yourself to move on. You owe it to yourself to stick to your boundaries and move on, because that is self-love and that is self-care. Once you figure out when it's actually time to go, if those things aren't in alignment with what you want to be and who you want to become, and the time has come, move on. Don't hold on to things that don't serve you anymore. Know when it's time to leave the relationship. Know when it's time to leave the situation. Know when it's time to leave the job, and know when it's time to leave the friendship. You can't hold on to everybody and everything forever. You just can't. Everything does not last forever. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. You never know. That redirection may be redirecting you into something greater, bigger, and 9 times out of 10, it does. 9 times out of 10, when you leave things that no longer serve you, it's replaced with even more of an abundance, even more friends or better friendships that you have, maybe more quality friendships. Or if you're in a relationship and it's time for you to leave that relationship, your next partner is somebody you've never thought you would experience in this lifetime. Or the career that you were so hesitant on leaving, the next career that you got is your dream job, maybe in another state that you've always wanted to be in. But how will we ever experience those things if we don't know when to leave? Number 7, mental health is key. Work on your mental health. Work on your mental health. There's a lot of things I could just repeat over and over and over again. One of the top life upgrades I can say for your mid-30s, for your 20s, for your 40s, 50s, 60s, however long you're here, work on your mental health. You can do this in so many ways. I'm gonna start with number 1. Therapy is an amazing place to be. Find someone that you trust that you can talk to, if it is a therapist or maybe like a life coach or a friend or a family member. You know, just find something to work on your mental health. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's reading, you know, maybe it's going for walks so that you can meditate, or just meditating in general. Something to work on your mental health. We will work on our physical health until our bodies are perfect. You know, we want to lose that stubborn belly fat. We want to have the biggest muscles that we can find, yada, yada, yada. In my opinion, if your mental health isn't right, nothing else really even matters. It doesn't even matter how you look. It doesn't matter how you come across, your appearance or anything. Not to me. I feel like your mental has to be intact, and then everything else will fall into place as well. Number 8, stop saying yes to everything. Stop saying yes to everything, okay? Stop making yourself so available all the time. Start getting selfish a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Stop being that yes person. You can't always say yes. You can't always please everybody. You cannot always please everybody. I had to learn this, y'all. And I'll give you my example. This may not be your experience, but this is me. This was me. I could come off as a major flake, right? Somebody would invite me somewhere out or an event or something like that, and my immediate response was always yes. It was always yes. It was always, I'll be there, I'm coming, yada, yada, yada. Knowing me and my personality, and if that person knew me well enough, we all know that Shaylin's not going. This is not funny. It's not funny because this was something I really had to work on. But if that person was close to me and I know myself, I knew that moment that I said yes, and they knew that moment that I said yes, that I wasn't going. And then it created me being a flake. And I knew that I was being a flake because on the day of, when it would happen, when the event was near or when it was here that day, I wasn't showing up to the event. I would text or I would call or whatever, and you know, or just not come or just not show up. And then it's like a big thing, you know, and if the person didn't know me, then it's like, oh, I guess she couldn't make it, you know, and then it looks like an excuse. And like just whole snowball effect of constantly being invited somewhere and knowing that I'm not going. So what I had to stop and really think about was not saying yes to everything that I didn't want to do just because I was trying to please other people. Like if I had something going on, or if I had something that I really wanted to work on, whatever it was that I was working on at that time, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to make that event on that Friday, that's what I wanted to do in that time frame. I used to have the reselling business, some of you guys may know. I wanted to work on that. So if I knew that something was coming up that weekend, I wanted to be doing that, but I would still tell that person yes because I felt guilty, and I'm like, I should be there, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. It's okay to say, no, I'm not going to be able to make this event, and then maybe I can make the next event and actually make the next event. Actually put actions behind your words and make the next event, you know, make it a priority. Sorry guys, my camera died, so yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about? I think we were talking about me being a flake. Yeah, it's just from constantly saying yes to everything. But I say all that to say that you can really be doing yourself a disservice if you're constantly trying to please everyone else and saying yes to the things that you don't necessarily want to do or don't have time to do, or just, you know, you just can't make every single thing. You can't please everyone. That little pause before you answer something or before you commit to something is a major life upgrade that I had to learn. That little pause. It's okay to just be like, you know what, let me get back to you on that. Or I can't make it this time, I'm going to make it next time. And like I was saying before, actually put actions behind the words and make the event for the next time, or make whatever it is that they want you to do. It's okay to, you know, be a little selfish and put your own needs first. And then that way you don't look like me. You're not constantly being a flake to the other person, knowing that you're not gonna come, knowing that you're not gonna come. And you're not constantly being a yes person, saying yes to every single thing. And also know too, that it's all right to not be invited everywhere. It's okay not to get the invite. You know, it's not gonna be the end of the world if you don't get invites everywhere because people now think you're a flake, or people think that you're not gonna come. That happens to me all the time. I don't get the invites, and it's, you know, it's like whatever. I may bring it up like, y'all, I may not come, but still invite me, I wanna go. I still want to go to the event, but they know me and they're like, Shaylee's not gonna come. It really just depends on what I got going on that time frame, and I'm no longer being that yes person and constantly saying yes to every single thing or every little thing that comes my way. So that little pause before answering a question or committing to something that you don't necessarily want to do is a major life upgrade. Okay, what do we have for number 9? Number 9 is a routine. Having a routine. This is also something that I've learned recently, like within the last year or two, of how important it is to have a routine, whether that is a daily routine or an evening routine or a monthly routine or a weekly routine. Just having some sort of routine to be able to go by so that your days can be structured. Again, whichever way the wind blows, you know, that to me, that mindset is more in your 20s. It's a younger mindset, like I'm just gonna go with the flow, it's whatever, yada yada yada. And some days I am like that. Some days I'm really free and, you know, it works out that way. But for the most part, when you have a routine and you have like not necessarily a set schedule where you have to do something every single minute or every single hour a specific way, but when you have a routine, like a morning routine for instance, it kind of keeps you on track for what you need to do to reach your goals. So you know that if you want to get up and work out in the morning, if you're working on your health and your wellness and your fitness, having a routine the night before to lay out your clothes, make sure your tennis shoes are right, you know, get your gym bag together. So making sure that your evening routine coincides with the morning routine so that you can just get up and go and work on all of your goals. It's so important to have a routine. Number 10, everyone is not your friend. Stop calling everybody your friend, girl, because everybody ain't your friend. Everybody does not want the best for you. It may seem like they want the best for you, but they just don't. Having the wrong partner or the wrong friendship or the wrong people in your life is another thing that will stunt your growth. Not having a support system, a good supportive support system, will stunt your growth. It won't allow you to grow. It just is what it is. Sometimes we can look at people and we think, oh man, they would never do that to us. Like, we think all of these good things, and whole time they're really not our friend. They're not thinking the same exact thing because that's how you've been thinking this whole time. But a lot of times the people that are closest to you are the ones that don't necessarily really support you all the way. You know, it seems like they may, but just notice how people that you may not know, or people that maybe you've just met, or people, now I'm not saying all family or friends here. I'm not saying all family or friends. I'm definitely not saying that. But sometimes your support system looks like people you don't know. It looks like people you've never met before. I get a huge support system through you guys, and I have never met not any one of you. And you know, and you guys are bigger supporters than some of the people that I have in my life or had in my life. So I just feel like not everyone is your friend, and you won't necessarily realize that. Maybe you will in your 20s, maybe you will, if you can really like sit down and review people and really like peep the game that people be trying to, you know, you'll realize that everybody is not your friend, and you won't call everyone your friend. You know, normalize, start calling people associates, acquaintances, just someone I know, like, oh, that's so-and-so's friend, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not being mean or nasty or anything, but friend is such a strong word. And this is also something that I had to learn later on in life, because I was thinking that just because I was really close to certain individuals that I can really consider them as my friend. And I have to be so careful with that. Even now, to this day, I have to be so careful with who I call a friend, because friends don't do certain things that an actual real friend would. And I know we all know what we're talking about here, so we don't have to get like too specific, but just be careful in who you call your friend. Be careful in who you keep in your circle. Watch out for yourself. Watch out for the people who are really your friends though. Be there for the people who are really supportive to you, and notice when they are, and also notice when the people aren't. Number 11, when things don't work out and you have failures, how to deal with those things. So when things don't work out and you have a failure, it's not always all bad. I look at it as redirection. I also look at it as a blessing in disguise. Like I was telling you guys earlier, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the times, when things don't work out the way that we want them to, we're being redirected on something greater. 9 times out of 10, it is replaced with something greater. So even though it may hurt in that moment, it may hurt like, man, we really wanted this is something that we were really reaching for, and maybe it just doesn't work out, or you know, the relationship or the friendship or the career or the job, it just doesn't work out and we really thought that it was going to. It's not always bad, y'all. It's not always bad. If we continue to pursue, we continue to push through, 9 times out of 10 we are going to be redirected in a way that is going to be so positive and just so much better. I'll tell you this, in my past experience, everything that I have lost has been replaced with something greater. Everything that I have lost, and I've lost a lot. So everything that I've lost, everything that I felt, every negative feeling, every failure, every time I've tried to do something and it didn't work out, it was replaced with something better every single time. And that goes for people, that goes for things, that goes for careers, that goes for jobs. Like, you replace it and you just keep going and you keep going, and you're like, okay, well, maybe that isn't the direction. Maybe that's not where I'm supposed to be at. And let me keep going to find out what else is in store. That's why it's also so important to know when to let go. Like that other point that I was telling you guys about, know when to say no, know when it's time to move on. It's because of stuff like this. When you have failures and you continue to have those failures, something else is waiting. Something else is brewing. We got to be open to be able to receive it. And if we're not, then we're just going to stay stagnant. We're just going to stay in the same position, in the same place for forever. And we're going to miss out on our blessings. We're going to miss out on the things that's meant to be for us and supposed to be for us, because we're so stuck. And we don't want to be like that. So when failures happen, cry, go through your feels, feel your feels, move on, and then know that something greater is coming. Number 12 is revenge. We're talking about revenge. The best revenge is nothing at all. We've heard this time and time and time and time and time again. When people do us wrong, when things happen and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just did that to me. I can't believe I'm going through this. And 9 times out of 10 it's people, you know, it's people doing things to you, and it's like, why? Revenge, the best form of revenge is to let it go and move on. Again, this is one of those things that's much easier said than done, because it's hard, especially if you're a person that wants to get revenge. If you're like, oh no, they did me wrong and I'm going to get them back, and that's just who you are as an individual, and you don't feel satisfied until you get that lick back, this can be a lot harder said, or I'm sorry, this could be a lot easier said than done. But work on it. Work on trying not to react. When people see that it doesn't faze you, you don't care, you know, you coming off nonchalant or whatever, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't bother you, because stuff that people be doing do bother you. You know, it definitely bothers you. But when you don't react to it, who holds the power? Who holds the power? And this can go both ways too. You can even go so far as to have people upset with you by not reacting. This happened to me. If other people are involved and they see that someone is doing you wrong, or they see that a group of people are doing you wrong, they visually see, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, you're not gonna react, you're not gonna, and then it's almost like you kind of get ganged up on a little bit, and it's like, what you gonna do? So you're not gonna do anything? You're not gonna do anything? It comes from all directions. It could come from the direction of, you should be doing something, you need to be doing something, or it can come from a negative direction of, let's get them back and let's do something because this is revenge. It can come from all different directions. But when you quiet down that noise, and you realize, I'm gonna be the one that's looking dumb if I react to this situation and I get out of character and I get out of line, and one of my hair is not intact because I'm over here trying to get revenge. Girl, you looking crazy. You looking crazy. If you can remember that you have a image to uphold, you have somewhere you're trying to go, somewhere you're trying to be, you want things to be in alignment with everything that you got going on with this new person and this new version of yourself. If you can remember all of those things, it will be much easier for you not to react on certain situations that you feel like you need to react in. It would be so much easier. The best revenge is no revenge at all. Top life hack. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter the outcome and how bad it was and what the person did and how bad of a thing that they did. None of that even matters. Just remember not to react. Keep it cool, keep it cute, keep it classy, keep it demure, and move on. Number 13 is start believing in the possibilities instead of the incapables. Now, this was something that I just recently wrote about in my journal. And you know, it's basically just thinking positive. When you change your mindset and going from, oh, this can't happen for me, you know, I'm incapable of doing this, it's not gonna work out because X, Y, and Z, you know, and you're making up every excuse in the book. When you turn those incapables into possibilities, like, what if it did work out? What if I could do this? When you start questioning things as a what if, like, man, I could be this great person, or I could have this great relationship, or I could get that job, whatever the thing is, if you start questioning it in a positive way and you're turning those incapables into possibilities, your mindset will change. Everything soars after that. Sorry, y'all. I've had so many distractions in this video, like so many. The cars outside, the rain, Bailey is chewing on this bone and I keep trying to get her to stop. My camera keeps dying. It's just a lot going on, so I apologize. But anyway, yeah, so when you change your mindset, instead of the I can't do this and the incapables of being able to do something, and you turn that around and make it a positive, your life really will change. You start thinking more positively, and then it goes into the whole manifestation thing, and you're really manifesting a dream life or a better life, and you're also creating a better version for yourself. Number 14, I really like this one. Another gem that we've all heard before. Your past does not determine your future. I don't care how bad it was. It is not who you are. It does not define you. Your past, if it wasn't such a great past, you can always change things. You can always move forward in a direction that is going to get you where you need to be. And like I was telling you guys earlier, if you're not growing, then you're dead, literally. If we've had trauma, if we've had things that we have dealt with in our past and that holds us back from being able to move forward, then talk to somebody, guys. Again, going back to therapy, talk to somebody. Do everything that you can to move forward, and know and realize that your past does not define you. Your past does not have to be your future. It does not have to be everything. It does not have to say that this is who you are as an individual. Yes, it has helped you get here. Yes, it's a part of your journey and a part of your story. But great people, wonderful people in this world, artists, entertainers, like big, huge people that we see, a lot of times their past like was so trash. Like was just like, we hear their stories and we think, man, like how can anybody go through this? I look at Tyler Perry as an example. If y'all sit and listen to Tyler Perry's story, if you don't know it already, I encourage you to look it up. Him being homeless and him going through all that stuff that he was going through with either his father or his stepfather, one of them, I can't remember, but the documentary that he has, and just listening to Tyler Perry's story, it's literally so many people out there who are big name people that have gone through stuff like him, like Tyler Perry, that are huge today, like huge. These are celebrities and stuff that we know and love. And their stories are just like stuff that's just unheard of. Those people did not let their past define them. They continued to go, they continued to grow, and now they became these big, huge billionaires, millionaires, whoever these people are. They have like these really deep stories that, you know, we can probably all relate to. So it can be the same for us. They didn't let it define them. They do recognize it, and we can recognize it ourselves. We can recognize that we had a past, but then what do we do to try to move forward? What did we do to learn from that experience? And know that that is not what defines us. We can be great, we can be better, regardless of how bad our past may have been. And number 15, I saved this one for last because you saved the best for last. And that is to never be afraid to start over as many times as you like. Never be afraid to reinvent yourself. Guys, I don't know how many times you can start over and feel okay with it. It's okay to start over. Just know that however many times you need to start over and reinvent yourself and become a better version of yourself, if you need to do that several times, then do it. If you feel like you need to do it every week, then do it. Start over as many times as you need to. Give yourself permission to make your experiences in your life better. And it makes it better for not only you, but it makes it better for those that are around you as well. You're a different person than you were last year. You're gonna be different next year as well. Depending on what you do with your life, you're going to be a different person, and it can either be for the good or it can either be for the bad. It's really whatever you make out of your life experience, whatever you choose to do to make your life better. But don't be afraid to start over as many times as you want. Reinvent yourself as many times as you want to. It is okay. I give you permission, give yourself permission, give your friends permission. It's all right, because in the end, it's all about being in alignment, and it's all about creating a better version of yourself, a better lifestyle for yourself, and it's all about learning from your mistakes. If you're not learning from your mistakes, and if you're not learning from your past experiences, then what exactly are you doing? Then you're just continuing to go through the process. You're continuing to go through the motions. And if you're not learning anything out of it, then what is the point, right? What is the point? You just kind of stay stagnant. You kind of stay stuck. We don't want that. Give yourself permission to do whatever it is. Start over however many times. I've had to do it several times. I can't even count how many times I have literally started over. And I can also tell you that I'm going to continue to start over as well. There's certain things in my life that go on in my life that where I'm like, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to start over. I'm going to move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's where those sudden changes come in at that you guys may see in other vlogs and stuff, because I'm not afraid to start over. I'm not afraid to make adjustments to my lifestyle, to do whatever it is that I need to do to make myself happy, to stay in a happy place. You know, sometimes it can kind of come off as not being content with where you are in life, or sometimes it can come off as you know, you're just kind of all over the place and not really knowing what you want. But don't listen to other people. Don't listen to other people. You know that in the back of your mind, that small little voice is telling you, don't be afraid. Go, push, do what you need to do, because at the end of the day, this is your life. No one else is living it. No one else is living it. This is you. When you go to sleep at night, you lay your head on your pillow, you go to sleep with yourself. Do what makes you happy, figure out what makes you happy, figure out your goals, figure out who you want to be as a person, as an individual, and go from there. Well, we are coming to the end of this video. I have had plenty of distractions, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. Hopefully you guys were able to get something out of it and really enjoy the tips that I have learned throughout these last 5 years. It's a special one. It is definitely a special one. I feel so accomplished, and I really hope that these tips were helpful for you, not just if you're in your 30s, but also in your 20s, if you're about to enter your 30s, if you're in your mid 30s like me. Hopefully you can find something out of it. So there you have it. If you guys have your own experiences, I would love to hear them in the comments down below. We love to chat in the comments, so let me hear your experiences if you want to share. And I'm also going to leave you guys with one last clip. And the clip that you guys are about to see, it is me 5 years ago, right when I first got into my first apartment after being married and not being single for so many years and always having like another half. I got into my first apartment and I decided to sit down and document myself, and I wanted to see how much progress I was gonna make within a year. And I did. So I kind of encourage you guys to do this as well. I knew for me, I wanted to be on YouTube, and I knew that eventually one day I will be sharing my story with thousands of people, and that's what I'm here doing. I knew that in the back of my mind. But I encourage you guys to document yourself. If you're going through something, or if you want to be better, if you have a vision for yourself, document it. It does not have to go out for the world to see. It doesn't have to go on YouTube. It doesn't have to go on social media. But it is a great way to see your progress, to look at yourself visually. I encourage videos so you can do it with your phone. I did it with my phone. I encourage videos so that you can really just look back and see how far you've come. Like, it's such an inspiration to be able to stare at yourself physically and mentally, emotionally, and see yourself and see how far you've come if you decided to document yourself. You can do it in a year, you can do it 5 years. So this video, in the video, I was talking about a year of progress, but here we are 5 years later, and you guys are about to watch the clip with me. I found this clip and I was so glad that I did. I remember doing it. I remember being very, very, very broken when I decided to put that camera in my face. I was very broken, but you guys will see it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay tuned for that last clip, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Good morning, world. Or my phone. Or myself in about a year. Whatever. I just woke up. I'm looking real rough. My eyebrows look rough. I just wanted to come on here to talk to myself. I'm in my new apartment, downtown Atlanta. And I just want to tell myself that I'm proud of myself. And hopefully I can look back on this in about a year or so and see how much further I've become, or I've came. But I am freshly divorced. It's kind of weird that I am saying that. I am no longer a wife. I've been divorced as of Friday, 29, 30, 31, yeah, as of Friday. Today is Sunday. So Friday morning, I was considered a single and divorced. It was finalized. I moved into my new place. Still moving. I have stuff everywhere, but one thing that I really love about it, it has a lot of natural light. It's the good and the positive. That's one of the positives. Anywho, I just want to tell myself that I'm really proud of myself for coming this far and holding it up. It's been a really rough year. I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, lots of emotional things, a lot of emotional things. And I'm sure it's probably not even all the way over yet. But I think I've gotten past the hardest parts. I do think that. So I just want to say that I'm proud of you, Shaylin, and I've lost a lot of weight. I can tell. I've lost about 60 pounds so far, so that's exciting. Almost to my goal of 100 pounds lost, but I'm not even really 100% sure that I want to lose 100 pounds. I'll see in a little bit. I'll see where we are. But yeah. So again, just wanted to come on and say that I'm proud. You're doing good. You keep on moving, keep on trucking, and I'm excited to see what the next year is going to bring. I'm excited to see where I will be in another year. I want a Jeep, so maybe I can make that happen. I don't really know. Jeeps are expensive. But I definitely want to be in a better place with a lot of things a year from now. So I have work to do. I want to be in a more comfortable position financially. I want different things. So I have different goals. I have this whole creative side of things that I want to do creatively. My glasses. I want to do some things creatively with, doesn't necessarily have to be a business or a blog or something. So I want to do that. I have goals. So I need to make sure that I am sticking to my goals and aspirations in life and making them come true, because as of right now it's just me and you, girl, but it's all good. I'm okay. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling happy. I'm loving myself. I'm appreciating myself a lot more. And I know I could do this. I haven't felt this way in a long time. It's kind of strange. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about it. I'm way better than I was even a year ago. Way better. My hair is still cute. Anyway, so hopefully I can keep this video and look back on it in 1 year, and hopefully I will be in I don't want to say a better position, because I'm in a better position right now. I'm moving forward. I'm in my new place. My divorce is finalized. I've lost a lot of weight. Like, things are going good. It's just nothing but up from here. Nothing but up from here. So I don't really even want to say I hope I'm in a better place next year, but in a year from now, my personal goals and the things that I want to do personally to where I know will better myself, hope I can reach those. I've got a couple in place right now, but I want to be able to I want to reach my full potential, really be happy with myself. Never looked in any mirror or any camera and said that, and it's kind of weird. I love you, Shaylin.